Mr. Poem lost it going. Oh, Mr. Poem is retiring session.
Ah, yeah,
It
Mr.
def
Poem out. So yeah, and Bam as well has
yeah,
left the session. So I'm gonna invite Bam again. Whilst if you want to keep talking, whilst I get Bam the invitation, I think it's on Xbox.
yeah. So Drac now into that P8, the Haas in P7 and P8. Let's have a look at towards the front of the grid here. Colin and Hazer getting to each other once again with a 0.4 second gap. Hazer just managing to keep it ahead slightly, and that is just absolutely unfortunate for Mr. Poem. He was racing so well this race, and unfortunately, that bit of contact, I think, just really disheartened Mr. Poem. Looking on the cameras, you couldn't really see any damage, but maybe for Mr. Poem, it definitely seems as if he might have had damage, maybe some underbody damage from when he went over the curb. And Simon's retired now. Simon's retired from the race.
I think that was probably a similar glitch to what occurred with EM, I think, earlier in the race. The disconnection glitch effectively there, unfortunately for Simon. So sadly, Simon joining Mr. Poem, Coffee, and EM in being retired from the Grand Prix. But only two of them were legitimate. Mr. Poem and Coffee. Simon and EM obviously did not want to retire. It's just that the game sadly is built to retire cars if you're disconnected, which is pretty poor, I can't lie, but that's sadly how it goes. Hopefully it'll be better for next year's game. But Hazer and Colin still together. They have ran away from Merck. Merck in P5 does not look like he's going to gain the place from the Kick Sauber. Also the Bird, almost 5 seconds ahead of Pesci. Incredible. Bam has rejoined, meanwhile he's in P7. The two Haas are P7 and P8. I've got the position changes on for you, and I'm just seeing barely anyone's made up a lot of places. Like Ivy's gone up 4 places. That's the biggest gain in the entire race so far. He's in P13. So that's how sort of qualifying to the race has unfolded. There has been plenty of battles and plenty of overtakes, but not many drivers have gained a lot from their starting grid position, which is very interesting, I've got to say. Colin's still not able to get a move on Hazer. You do just wonder, let's say Colin were to get ahead of Hazer at some stage in this last 10 laps or so. If he was able to do that, could he pull 3 seconds on Hazer? What do you think, Zach?
Well, with how Colin is, I definitely think he'd be able to build a gap, but I don't think it'd be 3 seconds. However, Pesci has just earned himself a 3 second time penalty, and with Hazer only 2.1 seconds behind, that means that Hazer could potentially take P2 from Pesci. That would definitely be a hell of a switch around between the two, and it may just seem that Pesci may get moved down to P4 because Colin isn't far behind off of Hazer either. So that may be a P4 finish for Pesci if he doesn't pick up the pace and manage to build that 3 second gap.
Yeah, very, very true. Although Colin does also have that 3 seconds himself, don't forget. So at the moment, it will still be a podium for Pesci, but it's going to have to push the limits here. The gap down to 2.5 seconds between Pesci and Hazer. Pesci certainly will not be looking at a race win now. He's just too far behind for that. And he will have to try and conserve a P2. But it's not going to be easy when Hazer's there. But what Pesci will be hoping for is for Colin to, at the very least, put on a serious challenge with Hazer. They did actually make contact moments ago. That was just heading through into Farm out of Abbey at turn 1. So there was a bit of contact on this lap between Hazer and Colin. Nothing major occurred. It was a little bit of contact that did unstable Hazer's car, but nothing too major. Luckily, Hazer stayed ahead. But yeah, at the moment, these two are the ones who are really involved in a bit of a scrap. Woody also got past Dutch Beast as well on the previous lap. Woody up to P9, but he does have 16 seconds of time penalties, Rack.
Yeah, I'm watching two quite close to each other, but not quite close enough for a battle. As Ivy's definitely pulling round quite quick.
Oh!
And
Colin!
go on, Viva. What?
Colin went for a move down the inside, and as a result, he lost it. And therefore he's under pressure now from Merck all of a sudden. Did Hazer give him enough space? Was it too late of a move from Hazer? That will remain to be seen. We'll see what the steward's verdict on that is. But Merck now going side by side with Colin, still scrapping away. Don't forget Colin with a penalty, Merck without a penalty. But Colin just about holds on to the position here. Time penalties coming through. Ivy scrap getting one. I think it may have been Beast getting the other one, or Kesney potentially. But there you go. Colin holds on ahead of Merck, but has dropped 6 seconds to Hazer.
Yeah, it was definitely Ivy and Beast getting those penalties there. With Drac and Woody also of a switch around between them, as Woody is definitely pretty much all by his lonesome here. As Beast is quite far back, it definitely seems like it might be a comfortable place for Woody as it comes towards the end of the race here with less than 10 laps to go. And Merckx and Colin now again getting close to each other. And that was just absolutely unfortunate for Colin. He was just hoping to get that P3, and he unfortunately he lost it quite a bit there. And as he goes wide the corner now, he may have got a track on him, but there's no penalty. And Merckx now slowly catching on Colin once again. Let's just go have a look at Bird, and Bird is just absolutely flying. He has a 8.5 second gap to Pesci, who also has a 3 second time penalty. Bird is just absolutely this race, I can imagine, as he pulls away, and that's Kez with another 3 second time penalty. Poor Kez is just picking these time penalties up. There's no tomorrow. The poor lad is still pushing, I'll give him that. He's definitely pushing, but he has a few time penalties, which is unfortunate for Kez. It goes wide onto the straight. Let's just move further back up the grid and see if there's any battles going. There doesn't seem to be at the moment with Colin and Hazer between them. So we'll just have to see if anyone manages to close the distance fever.
Yeah, I think Merck now 1.5 seconds behind, so we're just losing time here. Colin certainly gaining an advantage now. 5.5 seconds back to Hazer, so he's not going to gain that place. Hazer still within touching distance of Pesci, the gap just over 2 seconds. Hazer right now would be getting a second place finish in this Grand Prix. Merck would be taking P4, but it's getting closer between those two. You might be thinking, well, how is that the case when Hazer is further away than what Merck is? Well, the reason why is because Hazer has been gaining time on Pesci, whilst Merck has been losing time on Colin. So that's why, at the moment, Colin could very well hold on to P4, whilst Pesci could lose P2 to Hazer. But Merck, just for a moment, has now been starting to catch back up. The gap down to 1.6 seconds as Merck almost loses it on the exit of Village there. He does not lose any time, incredibly so. But look how much that rain is pouring down now. It's not too far away to the full wet tyre conditions, surely. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, this rain is definitely coming down hard. It's definitely looking as if it may go to the wet tyres for the last few laps, as it's definitely getting way too slippy for the Inters. Merckx is just hiding in the corner. He's still managing to keep the car best not to lose that rear as it just slips and slides like he's riding on ice. However, we have Bam, who's just keeping it nice and simple, along with Drac and Woody. The three drivers there have been playing it really despite the time penalties. Probably not wanting to risk getting in. As we move towards the back of the grid here, we've got Ivy, who's definitely trying to build that time back. As we've got Kez, who's also trying to get the time back up, and that's Colin with another 3 second time penalty. Now that's Colin with 6 second time penalty. He may just lose that. He may just lose that P4 to Merck.
Yeah, very much so there. Sorry, again, a little bit of a cutout there on that one. But Colin, 6 seconds of time penalties now, so Merck is well within distance to get 4th place. Hazer, meanwhile, is now within 1 second of Pesci. We never saw this coming, but all of a sudden, Hazer is applying the pressure to his Tier 1 or potential Tier 1 title rival Pesci. So incredible stuff here through the final 5 or 6 laps of the race, 5.5 laps really. But the Bird, 11.7 seconds clear. He is dominating the race now from the intermediates. So very much well played to the Bird. But yeah, Pesci and Hazer. What is going to happen between these two? Pesci with that penalty means Hazer does not necessarily have to make an overtake, but he certainly looks like the quicker driver out of the pair right now, Zach.
Yeah, definitely have a new here. As Hazer is just absolutely putting that time down on Pesci. He's just getting closer and closer by the lap. And it definitely looks as if that time penalty won't matter anytime soon. As Hazer now cuts it down to 0.6 seconds, he is just absolutely blazing towards Pesci. Maybe hoping that he'll be able to catch him on the straight very, very soon. As we go to Bird, Bird is just absolutely keeping it steady, keeping it cucumber, and he's just up with a 12-second gap. That gap is just getting bigger. Now up to 13 seconds. Bird is just absolutely in his element here. It just glides round that corner, keeping that car under absolute control. And Pesci is just probably bricking it right now as Hazer is just getting closer and closer. It definitely as if Pesci around those corners, and it definitely seems as if in to go for that P2 despite Pesci's time penalty. As we go towards further down here, Merckx, who's getting close to Colin once again. He's definitely quite a distance back. Definitely, it's like Rustic Bolt is not far behind from not far behind from unless I'm looking at the car. Yeah, I think that be Baker's Red Bull. The two passes of Bam and Drag are definitely keeping it consistent here. I'm not seeing any problems with the passes whatsoever. They just keep it nice and tight. With Woody not far behind, he might be going for the overtake on Drag within the last few laps. What do you think, Viva?
Yeah, may very well try to. Again, 16 seconds of penalty, so it may not be too worth it from Woody, but if he feels like the quicker driver, he may go for that overtake. Hazer was getting very close to Pesci on the previous lap as well. A little bit of a slide there from Hazer as well. He is really pushing hard. And Pesci slides! Pesci slides! Here comes Hazer round the outside! Has he got the move done? Yes, he has! Hazer's up into second place, but Pesci fights back. Pesci on the inside. He has more straight line speed, and he gets straight back through. Hazer, though, with what looks to be more downforce, wants to take the place again. But again, he doesn't have to with that penalty from Pesci, but he's really pushing hard. Woody has now got past Destroyer Drac, so he's up at a P8 there. He did really want that move, but again, 16 seconds of penalties will limit his positions and will drop him potentially below Viking Fox in this race. I think he'll be alright to stay ahead of William, however. But yeah, Hazer getting so close to Pesci, Vac.
Yeah, that was one hell of a move from Hazer. And it definitely, if he traction goes like he might be trying to catch him on the straight, especially slipped into that wet area, losing control of his car quite a bit. And it seems as if Hazer is go gets close once again as they go corners towards the straight. Pesci goes wide, and Hazer going for the overtake. There was a bit of contact. Pesci slips, and Hazer takes P2.
Wow, what a move. We've just seen right there from Hazer. Through it to Vale and Club, and he gets the job done. Splendid stuff. And it is surely P2 secured for Hazer in this race. If he does not take second, that will be a shock. He must make a massive mistake if he's not to take P2 there. But that is a massive, massive move from Hazer to deliver on Pesci. Pesci will not be happy with that. He's been struggling compared to Hazer in these very wet conditions here. Still on the intermediate tyre simply because if you pit for full wet, you're going to lose about 30 seconds from that pit stop alone. That's why drivers have decided to stay out on these intermediates. When if you look at the track, it is absolutely pouring down of rain. We're going to drop down towards Dutch Beast though, who is right behind Destroyer Jack, who is also close behind Woody. So Destroyer Jack right in the middle of this battle between himself, Woody, and Dutch Beast at this moment. Beast and Jack are legitimately fighting for P8 because they have the exact same time penalty. Woody has 16 seconds, so Woody will lose out to the pair of these. But yeah, Jack and Beast fighting for the same position, Rack.
Yeah, it's definitely a very close battle here. Woody has gone very well out of the corner, but I think that may be due to him having the maybe just drivers go past. As Dutch and Drac now start going down straight, and it definitely seems it's going to be a close battle in the last few corners. It seems that Kez is headed for the wets. I think Kez has just said, you know what, sod it, I'm towards the back of the pack. Let's see how it goes on the wets. And it definitely seems as Kez has quite a bit more grip compared to the rest of the grid as he's on the wets. And we have Ivy going into the pits now for the wets, it seems. As we go back towards the higher grid, it seems as if Colin is trying his best to catch up to Pesci, as Hazer is just absolutely blazing it in that P2. It definitely looks as if Colin's getting quite close to Pesci, as Pesci is just sliding around the track. He's struggling to keep that car under control. I think Pesci might be losing his cool quite a bit here, as he's just sliding constantly. And Dutch gets the overtake on Drac.
Wow.
That is Drac now down into P9 as Dutch manages to get ahead. And it's definitely been quite a hell of a race for Dutch and Drac as they have just been battling it out with other drivers. And it definitely seems as if Dutch has got the better of Drac going into the last few laps now. It's definitely been one hell of a race to watch. Back to you, Viva.
Yeah, I mean, what a move there from Beast. Jack just went slightly wide into Stowe, and all of a sudden, Beast on the inside. Beautiful move, beautiful line. And Dutch Beast up into P8 now, and Destroyer Jack finding himself under pressure here from Woody, who is looking at a move into P9 again. It won't mean much in terms of where they finish because of Woody's penalties. But yeah, Jack losing out to Beast on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, and Beast up into the top 8 there with his teammate Pesci, who looks like he's going to get a podium, but he has got Colin for company as they are onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. We're on here with the Bird just momentarily, who was into Sector 2 on the final lap. He is going to get the victory here at Silverstone, but a battle continues here between Pesci and Colin. It will not mean too much even if Colin gets a move, simply because of the penalty situation. But oh, I definitely will say this, he will love a move. He will absolutely love it if he can overtake Pesci on the final lap of this Grand Prix. He's not quite able to, a little bit sturdy on the traction there, and it will slightly compromise his exit, but he begins to get closer and closer again. Kesenate with another penalty, 24 in total for him, but the Bird, we're going to go away to him because he is heading round at Stowe on the final lap of the Grand Prix. He is awaiting the big time. He is dominating the big time here on round 1 at Silverstone. After missing out on the championship last season, the Bird goes for a fail and lasts a fall out of club down the Hamilton Straight. The Bird wins the British Grand Prix. Absolutely dominant drive from him as Pesci and Colin go side by side back.
Yeah, it's definitely a hell of a battle. Colin is just trying to push Pesci into making a mistake so he could potentially make up that gap. But however, that doesn't seem to be the case as Pesci and Colin come home P3 and P4. It has been an absolute hell of as we get Merckx in P5, and the rest of the grid will soon follow as they all keep it nice and tight towards the line. It has been one hell of a race, plenty of battles, plenty of drama, and quite a few unfortunate situations drivers in the grid here, especially for Mr. Pullum and Coffee, as they both had to retire due to teams.
Yeah, certainly the way there between that collision between Bam and Poland, but we're just watching here, Destroyer Jack and Woody. Bam did get a 3-second penalty right on the final corner, but it didn't really mean anything because he still gets P7, but Destroyer Jack does have the straight line speed to just stay ahead of Woody on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Jack does not run wide like he did when Dutch Beast was behind him. Woody picks up another 3-second penalty, meaning he will drop behind Viking Fox, but Woody will be happy with his overall drive. I think Destroyer Jack will be satisfied even though he did lose out. Beast takes P8, Jack holds on to 9th, Woody will end up losing out and taking P11 because Viking Fox will be the final driver for P11, but we go to the race winner, and your race winner is the Bird. What a Grand Prix by the Williams.
Absolutely. It's been absolute domination from the Bird in Silverstone here. He has just been with battle after battle with Pesci, but once he managed to pull away in the rain, he just kept it nice and calm, kept his head, and he has pulled away in that rain. I definitely think we have definitely got a new rain meister here, along with Hazer. Him and Hazer are absolutely phenomenal in the rain. It's just been one thing after another in this race, but it has been absolutely stellar to watch, and I can't wait next week.
Yeah, an absolutely wonderful Grand Prix, I have to say. It's so much battling, not just at the front, but in the mid-pack and even at the back at times. It was quite exhilarating in this Grand Prix. I will just have a little look towards what we've got for the calendar for next week, actually, because after that race, I think we have to look forward to what's going to unfold next week. Just before we do that, we are going to go through the full race classification, and the Bird takes the victory and the fast lap alongside Pole. It sounds like he dominated, and he won by almost 20 seconds, but I can guarantee you it wasn't as comfortable as what it seems until those final laps arise. Hazer P2, great drive from him. Pesci in P3, Colin P4, Merck P5, Bolt in P6, Bam, Beast Jack, and Viking all in the top 10 as well. Every driver who finished down to Baker Gaming will take points in the Grand Prix as well. 35 points for the race winner, the Bird, with a point also for the fast lap, so 36 points in total goes the Bird's way. In terms of the next race, we are heading in the 100% tier next Friday to the Mexican Grand Prix, but listen to this one, it is a no hard tyre race. What do you think of that, Rack? No hard tyres at Mexico?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be quite a challenging race, considering that Mexico is known for its tyre, especially in the high-speed corners and towards the end of the track where they have the more tighter turns. So it's definitely going to be quite a high wear and tear race. Let's just hope the drivers can keep their tyres in check as well as their pace, because it's definitely going to be a very close one in Mexico, especially with what we've seen in Silverstone so far. I am definitely ready to see that race in Mexico. I don't think there's going to be any rain in Mexico, seeing as it's quite a dry country, but you never know. It's definitely going to be one hell of a weekend next race, so we'll just have to wait and see. I am really excited for Mexico.
Yeah, certainly, and with that no hard tyres, again, as you said, the tyre wear not particularly great for the Mexican Grand Prix, therefore, with no hard tyres, you can only use a soft compound and the medium compound. I mean, the number of pit stops I'm very intrigued by. But that's, again, the first no hard tyre race that we are having in UFRL, and that will be next Friday in the Mexican Grand Prix. I cannot wait for that one. After tonight's showing, certainly having to look forward to what we've got from next week onwards. And I've got to say, equal car performance looks like a W tonight. It looks like a victory. What do you think about that, Zach? Equal car performance looking good.
Oh, most definitely. It's definitely showing the different skill sets between the drivers, but it's also showing that even the lower tier can definitely push up against the higher tier drivers. It's definitely showing quite a lot of combat between the tiers, and I'm all for it because it's definitely different skill sets against different ones, but that just makes it all the better. It makes it more entertaining, and I definitely think this is definitely going to be a very entertaining season. And with my predictions, I think Bird may take the championship this season because he's looking to be quite strong so far with what we've seen in Silverstone.
Yeah, very possible. I mean, he did just miss out last season to Rusted Bolt for the title, but also the Bird did race fewer times, I think, so very close between those two. But yeah, fair play to Bolt for being able to beat the Bird to a title. But I can certainly assure you the Bird is going to be doing all he can to take that title away from Bolt and win it himself. And I think, as you said, he has got an excellent chance to do so. But he's got a lot of competition there. Pesci, Hazer, possibly even Colin. I mean, he done a great showing tonight. Then he got Merck and Mr. P, and obviously Rusty Bolt himself, the reigning champion. So many contenders who can go on to lift that elite tier championship here in the 100% tier. It's a lot to fight for, but the Bird will certainly be ready to push for the title again. Wow. But yes, let's have a little look. So in terms of full calendar for this season then, round 2 is a no hard tyre race at Mexico, as we've just alluded to. Round 3 in 2 weeks' time will be held at Japan. Then we've got round 4 Qatar, round 5 Las Vegas. Round 6 is a reverse grid race. Yes, that's a reverse championship grid race at Brazil. So there'll be no qualifying and we'll be heading straight into a race for that one. I've got to say, I'm probably looking forward to that one. Round 7 is a mystery track. Again, that'll be wheeled off. Again, the drivers will not know what track we're heading on to, so that'll be intriguing as well. Round 8, Portugal. Round 9, Singapore. Round 10, Australia. Round 11, Belgium. And the season finale will be heading to Austria. Out of those tracks, I don't know if you've memorised some of them. Are there any of those tracks that you're looking forward to, Zach?
It's definitely going to be Spa for me. It's a fan favourite amongst a lot of the F1 community. But another one for me is also going to be Australia. I think Australia is a very underrated track. It definitely has quite a lot of fun moments, especially when you have a good bunch of drivers like we do in this league. So I definitely think we've got a lot to look forward to this season, especially when it comes to Spa, because Spa is known for its very spontaneous moments.
Yeah, certainly the case. Obviously, when you head out of Air Rouge down the Camel Straight, certainly a lot of overtaking opportunities will be on show there. But I think that double header, the reverse grid at Brazil, followed by the mystery track, I think those two are going to be incredible races. I don't know about you, Zach.
Oh, I definitely agree. It's going to be one hell of a season, especially with the mystery track to keep the drivers on their toes. It's definitely going to be one hell of a race on the mystery track. Once we find out where it is, who knows? Maybe it'll be a track that nobody's expecting that we've not had on the calendar for quite a while. But once we get there, we'll just have to wait and see. I am very excited to see what this season holds.
Me too, I've got to say. I mean, I know that Monaco is not a track that we've had on any calendar for a number of seasons. Um, but wouldn't it be intriguing if Monaco made a return and it's in the 100% tier? That would be quite insane, especially when drivers haven't practiced for it. I don't think that's going to be the case. I do think Monaco is still going to be off the mystery track wheel, but that would be quite fascinating if we did head to Monte Carlo for that race. But again, highly doubtful. I don't think we'll be doing that. I think that reverse grid at Brazil though, because the way we'll be doing the reverse grid will be the development drivers will be first, so the development tier drivers, and it will be the reverse of that championship. Then it will be the elite drivers, and it will be the reverse of that championship. Then we'll have the reserves at the back. So all the back markers in the development tier will be starting at the front at Brazil in that 100% race on round 6. That is one to look forward to, I've got to say. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's definitely going to make for an interesting race. But I'm definitely more intrigued to see if any of the development tier drivers definitely hold first place. Brazil is a very definitely areas where drivers can go for the overtakes, especially into the corners. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to see if any of the development drivers can hold towards the top of the grid.
Yeah, certainly. It'll be interesting, that's for sure. I'm just seeing in the Twitch chat, Kesonate said had better pace in the rain, plus put front wing or the front downforce up to 20. Probably would want a little bit higher than that, I've got to say. I think 20 in the rain at Silverstone is very, very challenging. At the back as usual. Yeah, unfortunately, I think maybe because I don't think you get setups on. I think if you're able to, I would recommend asking even a teammate for setups, and then I think they will definitely help you out with that. Hazer says, "Give me Monaco." Dex says, "No. If you're ahead on Monaco, I quit." And then Dex says, "I've had enough from Austria and now Silverstone." Wow. Yeah, but yeah, I think Monaco again. It won't be on the what do we call it, the wheel. That's the word I was looking for. But I think Monaco, yeah, that would be such a great event. But the drivers are probably thinking, no, please don't give me Monaco unless your name is Hazer, of course. And you're thinking, yeah, give me Monaco. But yeah, let's have a little look. What do we have for the week ahead then? So we have the international tier race is tomorrow night, and I can also confirm that is going to be our first mystery track of the season. Yes, round one tomorrow in the international tier will be a mystery track. That'll be at 9 o'clock p.m. GMT slash UTC. I think at the moment there's the same time difference between them. UK time anyway, 9 o'clock p.m. for that mystery track. And then on Tier 1, Monday night, round 2 will be heading to Las Vegas. And that'll be an intriguing event, high speed, of course, round there. Next week on Tuesday, Tier 2, and it will be at the Bahrain International Circuit. Tier 3 on Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. That'll be held at the Canadian Grand Prix. That may very well have a few track limit violations around there, simply because of how the track is incredibly difficult at times to keep your car within the white lines, especially that final chicane, avoiding the wall of champions as well, but also keeping your car within track limits of Canada could very well earn you a podium even. Yes, I've done that before in Tier 1. Hence why I'm saying it. If you avoid penalties at Canada, you have a chance in terms of doing well in a race. And then again, as we've stated, next Friday we'll be heading to Mexico for the No Hard Tire Grand Prix. Jack says, I'll take P9, had no grip last 5 laps on those worn out inters. Yeah, we did see you lose out to Beast where you ran a little bit wide in terms of the racing line. It was actually a really good move from Beast from what we saw. But yeah, I think P9, I think you should be happy with. And you and Bam were both in the top 10, so good points, really. Good points for yourselves and Bam in that Grand Prix. But yeah, for tonight, though, do you have any? Well, before we end the stream, do you have any final thoughts, Rack?
Well, if Monaco is on the wheel in for a surprise, and I definitely think Hazel will be in his element. But other than that, I'm definitely looking forward to the race. I'm definitely looking forward to my commentary, and yeah, we'll just have to see what the season holds, especially with Bird taking Silverstone. It's definitely been one hell of a race for the season to kick off to.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think we're going to look forward to the season. The equal cars seem to have worked well. Pretty much a full grid. I think there were only a couple of drivers off that. As Drax says, it was a pretty lonely race apart from the battle with Beast. Yeah, I think some drivers obviously did make the odd mistake. It was the odd, very rare bit of contact, but it did occasionally happen. I think the prime sort of contact really happened between Mr. Poem and Bam, I want to say. There may have been something earlier in the race on lap one as well, but yeah, there wasn't too much in terms of actual collisions from what we saw. But yeah, for tonight though, I think what we'll do, we'll round it off. First of all, I do want to give a massive thank you to Dat Trash Rack. Fantastic on the co-commentary tonight. Get my words out. But yeah, that was the first time as well since I think it was season 2, maybe season 3 that I done co-commentary with parkour. So I have not done co-commentary since. Tonight is a very rare time I've done it. So yes, once again, thank you to Rack, and I certainly hope you'll be around next week so we could do it again because that was incredible tonight, I think. I've been saying equal cars for ages, so I'll just say I told you. That's fine, Hazer. I think the realistic cars worked. I just don't think people were as interested, but now it looks like it's going to work. Not only that, but also also, I think the development tier title, I think that's also going to bring things up to scratch, really. Everybody's going to be fighting for the elite and development, and then the Constructors' Championship as well. Yeah, thank you, Jack. Very much appreciated. I've got to say, Jack, that Rack has done really well tonight as well, so very much respect to Rack on his performance. Done very well, tremendously. Ket said didn't expect it to rain. Yeah, I think drivers were saying it was going to rain anyway, so I think drivers should have been a bit prepared for it, I suppose. But yeah, again, no, that will be the round off for tonight. So once again, thank you to Dat Trash Rack. So we have been Dat Trash Rack, I have been UFRL F1 Viva, and we have been UFRL Formula 1. Thank you for watching this 100% tier race tonight, and good night.